4月6号到7号，中国国家主席习近平将访问美国，与美国总统特朗普在佛罗里达海湖庄园举行会晤。在此前夕，本台记者张金毅独家专访了代表美国总统发言的白宫新闻发言人斯派塞，谈及这次两国领导人的会晤。斯派塞表示，特朗普总统希望与习近平主席建立起个人关系，也希望在中美关系上建立起互信，并且相互尊重，扩大合作，解决分歧。
Thank you so much, Sean, for joining us prior to President Xi Jinping's visit to the U.S. All right, first of all, let's talk about the famous Mar-a-Lago. I've been there. It's really beautiful.
It is beautiful.
Yes, but I'm curious, what's the advantage of holding this highest-level bilateral meeting in Thousand White House instead of the White House over here?
I think there's something special. It was actually intended when it was built as the Southern White House. That was Meriwether Post's her dream. And I think it's ironic that now President Trump can use that property to bring foreign dignitaries like President Xi here to the United States and show off a beautiful part of our history, but also a beautiful part of our country that you don't always get to see in Washington. So many leaders come here to Washington. It's a really unique opportunity.
Right, and when did you know about this meeting?
This meeting's been in the works for planning it for a while. As followed up, Secretary of State Tillerson went over to Beijing. China's State Counselor came over. There's been a lot of back and forth and a lot of planning over the last several weeks. But part of it probably started initially during the transition, trying to make sure that we understood the importance of China as an economic trading partner, and wanting to make sure that the two presidents got together.
And we know President Trump said he had this spoken with President Xi Jinping on the phone several times.
Yes.
And this will be their very first meeting in person.
It will.
So what's the President Trump's expectation of this meeting, and what's the goal for him to accomplish this time?
Well, I think, number one, I think to establish a good relationship with the president, to make sure that we've got an open dialogue to talk about areas of that we share and areas that we have of concern. Obviously, there's a lot of national security issues, including North Korea, that are of concern to both countries, as well as the economic side. We've got a lot of issues of trade that we need to talk about and grow, and then make sure that we address.
And President Trump is looking forward to build a personal relationship.
Absolutely. I think that by having some of this one-on-one time, not just the president, but several members of the cabinet can meet with their counterparts and begin to develop a relationship to better address the issues of mutual concern between two countries.
Right, and also let's talk about U.S.-China relations. The White House senior official just said President Trump is looking for a result-oriented relationship. And also the other day when Secretary Tillerson visited China, he said this relationship, quote, is a very positive relationship built on no confrontation, no conflict, and mutual respect.
Right.
So how will the U.S. Work with China to maintain this kind of relationship?
I think that's part of the reason for these individuals, from the president through his cabinet, to get to meet their counterparts so that they can establish a personal relationship and start to build through this area of trust and respect for each other and cooperation, so that we do work together on areas of mutual concern. But we also know that our two countries have areas where we may disagree, but we still want to have a platform to be able to discuss those issues for the best resolve in both countries' interests.
Right, now let's talk about President Trump. A lot of people envy him. I mean, he sleeps only 4 hours a day, and he's so energetic.
That's right.
Even at the age of 70. So what it is like to work for him?
Well, as you said, he has very high energy. You're constantly trying to keep up with him. He sets the pace around the White House, and then I think everyone tries to keep up with him. But he recognizes that the American people have given him an opportunity, and our Constitution gives you 2 4-year terms, and he's going to use every minute of every hour to improve the country, to make it more secure, more prosperous, and lift up the lives of every American. But he's not going to waste any time. He's a guy, as you mentioned, whether it's a foreign leader like President Xi Jinping, or a business leader, or a union leader, or a member of Congress, he's going to pick up the phone and get things done.
Right. Can you tell us some little stories about working for him?
Well, as I said, I think he's very, very high energy. He tries to get a lot of things done in a day, and he has high expectations. The people who come to work for him share that goal and that vision that he laid out to the American people last year about really transforming this country, transforming Washington, and so we try every day to keep up with him. But he, as you see, many days he gets up very early and stays up very late.
Right, and we know you've been working in the field of communications for nearly 20 years. And why did you want to take on this role?
Oh, it's quite an honor to do this on behalf of this country and this president, to be able to articulate his vision and talk about the agenda that he has and help him articulate how he's moving this forward. But it's truly an honor to be able to be part of this at this level.
Have you ever thought you would be probably the most watched White House press secretary?
No, that was not as what I was thinking of when I took the job. But it comes with the territory.
And what's the day like for?
Well, you try, like I said, you try to keep up with the president. So you're up early, and you stay up late, and you're responding to calls throughout the day, going to meetings, and trying to articulate ways in which you can communicate what the president's been doing and the vision that he has.
Right. Last but not least, have you been to China, and what's your impression?
Yeah, I was the assistant U.S. Trade Representative for 3 years under President Bush, so I had the opportunity to attend both an SED and a JCCT. So I was probably there, 3 or 4 times. Very, very intriguing. Very interested in the growth that I saw Beijing and a couple of the other cities. It's a city that has very high growth. A lot of economic activity, and so it's been very interesting watching that growth.